Hello! I am wearing the same outfit because I filmed this right after I filmed my June TBR. This is my April and May wrap up. I don't know how many books I read, let me check. Let's get some stats, shall we? In April, I got very sick. And so I only read 5 books. 2 of those books were audiobooks. 1 was a physical book and 2 were read on the iPad. So that was the month of April. And in May, I read 8 books, I think. Yeah, right. I read 8 books. And it was honestly a very ambitious TBR for May. And I'm so mad because I was this close, literally 200 pages away from finishing my TBR for May. I think I just got like burnt out towards the end of May, and I would literally read like 5 pages and get like sleepy, or read 5 pages and then get distracted by my phone, or it was those last 2 days I was like kicking myself. Ugh. I was so close to finishing my TBR, to the point where I planned to read The Love Hypothesis at the same time as the last book that I was reading, because I was so ahead. I was so confident that I was going to finish my TBR. But no, did not happen. But anyways, I read 8 books in May. I read 1, 2, 4 physical books and 2, 3, 4 books on my iPad, which is funny because I own 7 of these books, but it's just so much easier to read on my iPad. So let's get into the books, shall we? Okay, I barely have any notes for my April wrap up, but I have all the notes for my May wrap up, and I'm so proud of myself, except for 1 book, but it's in my brain. The first book that I finished was The Wife Upstairs by Frida McFadden. So I listened to the audiobook and I gave this book 4 stars. So I actually started on March 28th. This sounds like so long ago. And I finished on April 5th because with audiobooks I like to read at work while I'm working. So it took me a while, but I really liked The Wife Upstairs. I thought it was really interesting, and there were so many times where I thought I knew what was happening, but I mean, it still was kind of right. Kind of like with The Silent Patient, like I pretty much knew what was happening, but I would like second guess myself and be like, oh no, that's not it. But it was it, but like different. The Wife Upstairs was very interesting. I actually feel like there were a lot of things that I didn't get, again because I don't think I'm yet familiar with the mystery thriller genre to where I'm catching on patterns and stuff, but I actually enjoy that because I'm a guesser. When me and Zach are like watching TV or movies, I'm like guessing constantly. I've talked about this, but it gets kind of annoying. Sometimes it's kind of cool because I'm like, you know, but with books or audiobooks, I kind of like not knowing. I don't know. But yeah, so I gave The Wife Upstairs 4 stars. Apparently it's exactly or very similar to Verity by Colleen Hoover, but I haven't read that book yet. So I guess the people who read Verity and then read The Wife Upstairs didn't like The Wife Upstairs because it was so much like Verity, but because I don't have that reference, I really enjoyed it. Also, I feel like I did talk about this, but with audiobooks, the narration just always feels awkward to me, because again, like I'm looking for the acting. Make it feel like I'm listening to a movie, kind of, not really, without the score. Like I'm listening to a scene rather than listening to someone reading off a page. And I really felt like the narrator, is that what they're called? I can't remember. But the narrator of The Wife Upstairs, I don't know, she was doing something and I was really enjoying it. So I really liked the audio book for The Wife Upstairs as well. I liked how she was kind of, she just felt like she was acting it out, and it was really nice. So yeah. The next book I read, I actually read the physical version, was Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. This is my first Elle Kennedy book. Oh, I almost dropped it. I gave this book 3 stars. I'm not gonna lie, I went from Throne of Glass to Girl Abroad and I was having a lot of trouble getting through this book. It took me a week to read this. It kind of put me in a slump, I'm not gonna lie. It was cute, but not much was going on, I guess. I also knew from the beginning, I feel like I wrote about this book, but I don't, it's not on my iPad. Did I write about this book? I feel like I wrote about this book. I'm having memories of writing about this book, but I'm looking at my iPad and there's nothing there. But I just feel like nothing was really going on. I didn't really care about what the outcome was gonna be. And I feel like because of that, I couldn't get through it. And I feel like I knew who she was gonna pick from the beginning. I think I was gonna compare it to All the Boys, because I feel like you know she's going to pick Peter, but there's like the slight chance that she might actually pick John Ambrose McLaren. And it was like that, oh my god, will she or won't she? I didn't get any of that from Girl Abroad. I feel like, yes, she had a relationship with, I don't even know his name. Guitar dude, bass dude, but like you knew she was gonna pick Australian dude, like you knew. Sorry, that was a spoiler. So I feel like I don't know. Like, it was cute, but it just wasn't for me. But Zach was team Jack, and I asked him why, and he said it's because Jack rhymes with Zach. So I don't know, like, I don't want to be mean to this book. Like, there were some cute moments, but it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a contemporary romance girl, and I think I'm like learning that the more I go. To add to that, I haven't, like, before my big 5-year book break, I read a lot of romance. You know, I was like a hopeless romantic reading romance all the time. Like, that was the thing. But that was YA romance. I think what I'm trying to get at is I don't know what kind of romance books I like as an adult reading. I very much enjoy fantasy romance, you know, but like with just romance itself, I don't know what I like yet, and I'm still discovering it. And yeah. I'm honestly hoping that I figure out what I like soon, because I need that palette cleanser for between my fantasy books. I need it, but I don't know what kind of palette cleanser I want. And when I don't pick a good palette cleanser, I get put into like a mini book slump. Like, this took me a week when it should have taken me like a day or two, you know. I don't know. Oh, the next book that I read was on my iPad, and it was Legendary, which is the second book in the Caraval series, Caraval. And I was in a hurry to read this because my Libby hold was gonna end, and I gave this book 3 stars. No, just kidding. I gave it 3.75. Now let's see what my iPad says, because it's been so long. Okay, I'm just gonna read it verbatim because I don't know. Okay, first of all, Tella is 16 in this book? Question mark. it did not feel that way at all. And maybe it's because these books are written in third person, question mark? I don't know, lol. I was getting like early 20s vibes from both her and Scarlett. So I definitely feel like Tella and Scarlett read a bit older than they're supposed to be. Because I was imagining everyone as like adults. Like at least in their 20s. And they're not. Which I was very surprised about. Maybe it's because it took so long for me to read this trilogy, but I don't like the books as much as I'd hoped. Again, I feel like it's because I expected something completely different, question mark, question mark. However, Dante is one big heart eye emoji, lol. Literally every scene with him I was heart eye emoji, in love, enamored, etc. I am, however, very interested in the fates and excited to see what the world will become in finale, which my Libby Hold 4 finale went through for the month of June. So I will be reading that very soon. Wow, so many words that rhyme. The next book that I read is one that Zach actually picked out because it was my, Zach picks my TBR. Well, he also picked Girl Abroad. Just kidding. But the next book that I read was Avalon Tower by C.N. Crawford. I gave this book 5 stars. I was gonna finish in a day, but it took me like two days. I finished it in 2 days. And I barely remember, I'm not even gonna lie. It's been over a month, and I didn't write about it. But I just remember having a really good time reading it. I enjoyed the premise of the story. I definitely want to continue on with the series. I gave it 5 stars because I had fun reading it. What else? I liked the world building. I remember enjoying the world building. I'm trying to remember. I believe there was like a miscommunication trope, but it was like, and I don't think I really liked that very much. I feel like it happened in another book and I didn't like it. But this was like a prior miscommunication from like years before that affected them now. And I feel like that kind of like loosened the blow a bit, and I actually really enjoyed this book. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I don't really remember much that happened, but I do like the premise. I like the world building. I'm gonna continue on with the series. Also, the fact that it's like, it kind of teeters on Arthurian like legend, so it like is kind of based on that. Not really, but there is mention of it. Avalon Tower, Avalon, you know. So I also enjoyed that, but yes. It's been so long, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. And the last book that I read in April before I could not function for 2 weeks was The Inmate by Frida McFadden. I listened to the audiobook from, oh Jesus, from April 5th through April 14th. I remember I finished this on the drive to Disneyland. And what did I give it? 3 stars. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like this one as much as I liked The Wife Upstairs, which is interesting because I always hear about The Inmate and I have not heard about The Wife Upstairs when people talk about Frida McFadden. So yeah, that was curious. I just did not really like how it ended, and honestly the story itself, I was just kind of like meh about it. And yeah, I also feel like the resolution was kind of random. Like, I feel like in The Wife Upstairs there was, why did you bring your chair over all dramatic like that? I wish I could show you, but it's like I can't move the camera. Oh, now he's carrying it away. So I feel like The Wife Upstairs, it like, there were like breadcrumbs left that you could like, you know, piece them together and then the ending made sense. But with The Inmate, I feel like their reasoning wasn't even related to this person. Like, not really. I don't know. I didn't like the ending. Yeah. Bleh. Sorry. Okay, whatever. So I had like a meh April. Any hooty wooty. Let's continue on with May. I feel like I had a really good reading month. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a pretty good reading month. I had a lot of 5 stars, and I don't know, is that not fair because all of them were from Throne of Glass? No, because they are 5 stars, deserved. But let's get into it. I don't know if you remember from my May TBR video, but my reading for the month completely relied on whether or not I finished Crown of Midnight and the Assassin's Blade in April, and that did not happen. So I had to read 4 big chunky Sarah J Maas books to get caught up, and I did it! Oh, spoiler alert, I did it. I read 4 of them, so yeah. But I don't know, I just had really good, I think May was a really good month. It has been my favorite reading month of the year so far, I think. I don't know. Yeah, let's stop. Let's talk about the books. Oh, hello. Come here. Here's Luna again. Oh my gosh, she's so big. Luna again. Whiskers in my mouth. Whiskers in my mouth. The first book that I finished in May is Crown of Midnight, which I did start in April. Oh, I did start it in April. Oh yeah, I remember, because I tried to like speed read it to get at least that one done before the month ended so that I didn't have to read it in May, but that didn't end up happening. Where is she? I gave this book 5 stars, no surprise, because I told you I gave all of them 5 stars. Let's read what I said, shall we? This book, W-R-E-C-K-E-D-T, wrecked me. OMG, the introduction of Mort. I loved seeing the relationships between Selena, it says Selena slash Chaos, Kale, and Selena, oh my god, Selena slash Nehemia. I really thought I was gonna get the pronunciation of her name, but I just can't. I don't know. I need to hear it again. Develop further. I'm a bit sad about Selena slash Dorian, rip LOL. That's all I wrote. Whatever, I had a great time, 5 stars. Woohoo! The next book that I read, and I finished in like a day and a half, so like 2 days technically, was The Night Shift, and I gave The Night Shift 2.75 stars. And I'm really sad because I had like high hopes that I was gonna find this book very cute, and I was gonna picture my boyfriend as the main character because he's a basketball player and like she works at a library, but no. Let's see what I wrote. This was honestly just okay. I was deceived by the cutesy cover. Also, for a reader who sorry, I can't see. Let me just bring it closer. For a reader who acknowledges how much they hate the miscommunication trope. Oh! I'm still coughing. It's been like 2 months, but okay. I've been trying to start this sentence for 8 years. Also, for a reader who acknowledges how much they hate the miscommunication trope, Kendall acted on her lack of knowledge of a situation way too much for my liking. It didn't make sense, but I can also relate, but it just happened so often and was literally an end all be all. I did not like that, LOL. I guess what I'm trying to say is that she acknowledged how much she didn't like the miscommunication trope, but like she just was so stubborn. If you're aware of miscommunication to that point, it's like, how are you so stubborn about it and not realizing that you are experiencing that feeling like 5 or 10, 8 times throughout the book? I feel like at that point you have to see that you are the issue here and you're doing something, you're not doing enough. It was honestly just really annoying how she just kept saying, oh, like, I hate the miscommunication trope, but she wouldn't like see that she was experiencing miscommunication, and like she just would not move past that. She would not let anything tell her otherwise. I feel like there's some miscommunication here and you are overreacting and you need to actually speak to this person and see what's going on. It was so very annoying and I wanted to stop reading so many times, but it was a short read, so I just got through it. There were some cute and relatable moments, more so when I was closer to that age range. Like I could relate, like I could remember when I could relate to some of that stuff, if that makes sense. But overall, there wasn't much going on in this book. It's very much smut with not much plot, which is great if you like that. It's a fun, short read, but not really what I look for in a book. Okie dokie. The next book that I read is The Assassins, played by Sarah J. Maas. And it took me a really long time to read this book, but it was because I was reading it only while I was at the school play. So while I was waiting backstage to do stuff, which honestly was not much because I would preset my costumes, my actor's costume, and then I was literally done for the rest of the night until we had to do laundry. So yes, I reserved my reading for when I was at school. So it took me from May 4th to May 15 to finish The Assassin's Blade, but I still gave it 5 stars. To be completely honest, this was kind of a slow start for me. It took me 11 days to read. To add to that, I believe if I had read this before starting Throne of Glass, I definitely would not have been able to get through the book. To be honest. I like its placement after book 2 because the ending of that one was a nice beginning to a new story, I guess. The stakes were there for me and I loved the idea that we just found out she was Aelin and that she learned she was able to love again. It really picked up, and while it was slow at times, I still very much enjoyed seeing Selena before her world came crumbling down. I genuinely feel like if I started the series with this, I would not. It would have taken me longer to get into it. Again, I still gave it 5 stars because I did enjoy it. It was just very slow for me, and yeah. I kind of like how at the end of Crown of Midnight we learn who she actually is, and then we get this after that. We see who she was before we know her as Selena. Like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, but I really enjoyed reading this third. I did read Heir of Fire, and to be honest, I don't think I would have liked placing this 4th in my reading order. I really liked placing it 3rd. So if you were wondering my preferred reading order for Throne of Glass, I definitely think Assassin's Blade fits nicely at slot number 3. The next book that I read is right here. It is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I finally got to the Twisted series. I read this on my iPad. I am holding the physical book, yes, but I read this on my iPad. And I gave this 3 stars. And why did I do that? Some of these aren't even reviews. They're literally just my thoughts throughout the book, which is still helpful because I can like kind of, what's the word? Remember. I can kind of look back at how I was thinking and feeling while I was reading, and then it kind of helps me reflect on how I actually feel about it. So I give this 3 stars. Let me read what I said. Not Alex saying he could give Ava the attention he hadn't been when he deals with his uncle and instead breaking her heart. Oh, I remember. So I guess he's dealing with his uncle and he's basically saying like, oh, let me just deal with my uncle and then I can give Ava the attention that I haven't been giving her. And then after he's dealt with his uncle, he like completely breaks her heart. And I was just like, what? You literally just said, literally like 4 seconds ago. Whatever. Anyways, I enjoyed it enough to keep reading, but I feel like I liked King of Wrath more. There was something about the development of Ava and Alex's relationship that was a little lackluster, like there was something missing. I definitely want to continue the series, mostly because the name Reese Larson is very familiar and I want to know why I know that name, lol. And also because I really liked Bridget. So I'm pretty sure Reese Larson is like a book boyfriend. Like, I know that name and I want to know why I know that name. So I'm going to continue with the Twisted series. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like how I felt about Night Shift or Girl Abroad. Like, I was interested enough to continue. Like, I do want to continue, but yeah, it just like it was an okay, like a solid read. It was a solid 3. It was a good 3-star. How about that? The next book that I read, and I just saw that I didn't take the sticker off yet. Flawless by Elsie Silver. I almost finished this in 1 day. I think I just got sleepy, so I finished in technically 2 days, but I read this on my iPad. Let me just read what I said. Hold on. Maybe based on my reaction you can see I rated this 5 stars. Initial thoughts. I didn't just find out this was set in Canada, but when I did find out, I was so shocked for some reason. Also, because I went in blind, I had no idea the premise for these books and why is their family owning a talent agency so cool and interesting. Like, it's not at all what I expected. Every time I see a familiar name, I repeat it in my head like I know them. Cade! Willa! Like, girl, shut up. Does he fall first? I'm so mad because I was liking it so much I was gonna finish in, finish in 1 day, but then I got sleepy. I literally only had less than 2 hours left of reading. Rob and Winter are married? WTF? Aw, fick, I'm crying at Rhett shielding Theo.
Fork.
Also, Kip and Summer's relationship. Good luck tonight. I love you. Oh, I gave break a leg. I love you. The blue truck. I am crying. And I'm happy too because I get to be stuck in her orbit for the rest of my life. I'm crying again.
Fork.
I loved this book. I was going to finish in 1 day, but I fell asleep. Holy heck, the development between these two felt natural. I liked the pacing. I was very unsure about cowboy romances, but I devoured this. I'm so excited for the next book. So I was being a little liar earlier. I didn't think I was gonna like cowboy romances, but I freaking loved this. So I'm excited to get to the rest of the series because I think, what is next? Reckless? I think a lot of people like that one the most. What is it, like I'm pretty sure it's Willa and Cade? Question mark? But it's like what's it called? Single dad nanny trope. I really enjoyed this. I was eating it up. I literally I make this joke all the time that I want Zach to be a cowboy now, but I think I found at least a subgenre of romance that I really enjoy. I mean, I don't know. I've only read 1, so I don't really know. But the fact that I liked this one so much, I feel like it's safe to say that I will enjoy another. So I'm happy I found at least one subgenre of romance that I really enjoy. And if I am in a little bit of fantasy burnout, I will turn my attention to a cowboy romance. I'm so dramatic. The next book that I read is The Veiled Kingdom, and this beautiful book. Look at it, it's so beautiful. So I finished this book in, I'm just gonna start saying 1.5 days. That means 2 days. We both know that. On Goodreads it says it took me 2 days to finish. I gave this book 4 stars. I'm like teetering on 4 stars because it wasn't everything I hoped for, and I'm really sad about that. But let's get into the review-y, shall we? What did I say? Initial thoughts. I am loving the premise of this story so far. The princess on the run from her father, the son of the man leading a rebellion against the crown. Yes! Okay, so not to be that girl, but Dacre is 100% a boy. But he's hot. And if I can acknowledge that he's a boy, it's okay, right? Because that ending gave me whiplash. I'm not gonna lie, my dumb thought Dacre was gonna be like, we need to hop on a ship now and get out of here. But no. He humped and dumped and threatened her life. LMAO. So, skull emoji. I'm definitely excited for book 2 though. Hee hee. I don't know. Dacre is very much a boy. Like, I have dealt with boys exactly like this. In the real world, you see a man acting like Dacre and you call him out for what he is, which is a boy. And I don't know. I guess if you're into that kind of thing, then yeah. I really did enjoy the premise though. I am excited for the second book. But yeah, he was very much a boy, a possessive little man who, if anyone interacted with Mira, I don't know, because I did enjoy it and I really want to be a part of the group that absolutely freaking loves it, but he was just kind of too much, and in not like a kind of way, you know. It was like a type of way a lot of the time, and I'm so sad about that, because look at this man, look at him, look at this man. Sad face. So yeah, that's how I felt. Moving on, the next book that I read is Arrow Fire by Sarah J Maas, which, no surprise, I gave 5 stars. What did I say? Wow. Just wow. The development in this book is amazing. Seeing things touched on, like the sound of wings flapping, and then coming together in the overall story is such a great payoff. I love the new characters we meet, and while I didn't care too much about the witches storyline, which is surprising because I love witches, seeing Manon's character development throughout was great, and learning about the different clans was really interesting. I especially loved seeing Rowan's character development. I think the reason I was like kinda meh about the witches storyline is only because I wanted to keep seeing what was going on in Adderlyn and with Selene. I'm so excited to pick up Queen of Shadows tomorrow. I write that. This book was so annoying to read because like this one is like stiff, you know, not floppy book, not a floppy book. But yeah, those were my thoughts. 5-star read. We love her. The next book that I read is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, and this is how I finished up the month. And I am very frustrated about that, but I will tell you why after I tell you about this book. I did not write about this book, and I am kicking myself in the head, but I gave this book 5 stars. Oh my god, I was thinking this whole time, like, I'm not gonna write it down, I know what I'm gonna say, but I can't remember. But look, this book is like floppy, like this is a floppy book. This one was nice to read, the other one was like so stiff. So what happens in the book? What happens? I was gonna write about something that I liked in this book, but I can't remember. I don't remember what I was gonna say about this book, but it's 5 stars. I'm so sorry, I forgot to write about it. That's my fault, because I was convinced that I was gonna remember what I wanted to say about it. Let's see, what can I think of? We get some more development. We have like some scary missions going on. Some big game changing, like storyline changes. Like, I say this a lot, but a war is a brewing. I'm so mad. Why didn't I write anything? I didn't even write like, oh, duh. I was like, why didn't I even write thoughts like while I was reading it? Because I was vlogging. But yeah, 5-star read. Don't remember why. I know what happened, but I don't remember like why was it, but I was like, yes. And the book that would have finished off my May TBR, I would have been complete for the month for the first time, was going to be When the Moon Hatched. I spent an extra day on this. I gave myself 4 days, and that would have been enough, but surely I fell asleep. And so I had 1 less day to read When the Moon Hatched. I gave myself 4 days for that book as well. I was on a roll. I was It was good. May 31st comes along. I have 4 hours left of reading. I don't finish. It's so frustrating. I've literally been on like 4 hours for the past like 3 days because I get so little progress in. It is June 3rd, but I'm really enjoying it, so I don't know what's going on. I think it was just like a little bit of burnout. The first 2 weeks were, you know, I was kind of reading at my own pace because I was reading again at school. But then the last like 3 weeks, I was going in. Like, it was a lot of reading. And then I got ahead with because I finished Flawless and The Veiled Kingdom in like 1.5 days. I was ahead and I was like, oh my god, I'm for sure gonna finish. This is my what's it called, updated one where I was so confident. But look, I was ahead on like Flawless. I gave myself like 3 days for that, I think. Oh my god, we're so close to my face. Hi. And then The Veiled Kingdom, I gave myself another 3 days. Heir of Fire, I gave myself 4 days. This was supposed to be Heir of Fire. Queen of Shadows, I gave myself 4 days. When the Moon Hatched, originally I knew that I was gonna go into June. So I actually had When the Moon Hatched starting on the 30th and the 31st going onward. But I moved it back because I was so ahead. I even added the low hypothesis because I was like, I'm gonna do this. No, I'm still reading When the Moon Hatched, and I don't know why. What's going on? Why can't I finish this book? I was so close. It's not like a race or anything, you know? It's just, it's a TBR. It's supposed to be fun. But like, I would have felt so accomplished that I set my TBR and then I finished my TBR. But I'm gonna make that my goal for June. I'm going to finish my TBR this month. Hopefully. I still need to finish When the Moon Hatched, so that may be being a little bit ambitious, but we'll do this. We'll do this. Ow! The book just hit me in the face. Thank you so much for watching. This video was very long, but because I had to talk about 13 books, I think, and I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow, Zach and I are going to be filming our movie wrap-up because we love to watch movies. I want to introduce more storytelling content, so more stuff about movies, TV shows, and I watch all of my movies and TV shows for the most part with Zach, so he will be joining in on the discussion of what we watched for the month of May because we watched 10 movies. And we're usually really bad about like watching movies, but we did it. We watched 10 movies, so I'm gonna see how that goes. We're gonna film a little monthly wrap-up of movies that we watched, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in that video or the next video, whichever comes first. Bless your soul. Have a great day. And close up. I'm here to see the kid.